Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Hopefully you're having a good day today, and if you're not, I hope your day gets better, friendo. Today, we're going to be talking about why I don't main Survivor, because even though I'm a Killer main, and I love Killer a lot, I actually don't love it as crazy much as you think I do. Obviously, it's my main thing, and I love doing it a bunch, but like, Survivor's fun too, and I do enjoy Survivor a lot, but I would very firmly and very strongly never main Survivor for a very strong and particular reason, and it's why I've really focused and doubled down on the Killer content stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's probably something you feel as well. So like, I like Killer more mostly for the fact that it's just like, you know, I love horror movies and I love killer icons. I love the Freddys, I love the Mukuls, I love the Jasons. I think they're cool. I think they're the most interesting characters in their own franchises, and they're kind of like the main characters of their own stories, and they're very unique and interesting and out there. So, and I think most media, when it comes to like horror games, you play as the survivor already, you know, like mostly the killer is an NPC, some sort of like ghost or monster. Like Alien Isolation, for example, is a franchise. Like Alien is a franchise I love to death. And Alien Isolation is a fantastic game, but like you play as the survivor the whole time, and most games kind of like take that, you know, perspective that like, even though it's called Alien Isolation, like the xenomorph is the main character, or at least the species is the main character, you know, you play as a survivor running from them. So the novel idea that you can actually play as the killer is like super cool and awesome, and it's why like I'm attracted to games like this, is because I can actually play that role, play that character. That's super cool and interesting, and what, you know, this series is defined off of typically. But I do love Survivor a lot, and I do love Survivor a lot in this game, because the 1v1, the chases in this game, are some of the funnest things that I've done in like most games. Like, that's what keeps me coming back to Dead by Daylight, is the chases are incredibly fun. They're super fun, no matter what side I'm doing them on, whether it's Killer or Survivor. The chases are neat, and the little mind games you can do and the skill that you can show there is like super awesome, and it's like super thrilling, and it's what keeps me coming back and playing the game, despite the fact that the 4v1 is probably the least fun I've ever had in a game, at least in terms of just like being incredibly boring and grueling when you're against a good team. But like that 1v1 aspect is super fun, and like I love learning and improving at chases as a survivor. So my love for the game is like more like, in terms of the roles, is more like 60-40 ideally, but it's worse than that because of this main reason. So this is something that you guys understand, is that lag is really bad in this game. Like, more often than not, I run into like laggy players like almost every other match, every 1 out of 3 matches, which is a lot for a game. And I feel like when a match is laggy, it affects everybody in the game. Like, things start going weird. Like you start seeing weird hits and stuff like that really affects the tone of the match and change things one way or the other very dramatically, like out of nowhere. And I think the side that really gets the worst end of this, even though there's a lot of issues that happen on the killer side, like following somebody, trying to track their movement, especially when you're playing somebody like Huntress or Billy, like lag while as killer can be really frustrating. But as survivor, I feel like the lag issue really rears its ugly head, and I would say, at least for me, makes the game like borderline unplayable for me. So let's take an example. So let's say I'm in chase with a Mukul and I'm having a good time. Boy pops his tier 3, he's coming at me, it's terrifying. I reach an LT wall, I'm booking it for that window because I know he's got that long lunge, he's coming right for me, right? So I book it towards that window and I vault that window, and I barely make it, the knife hits, right? Tink! He comes right off, and I'm like, oh my god, I barely escaped with my life. That stuff's thrilling, but I'm also still scared because I'm at the T of the LT wall. He's just gonna come running around after his cooldown comes down, and I have to make more distance before he comes and chops me, you know, and insta-downs me. So it's terrifying. So, but like, the problem is, if there's even the slightest amount of lag, that whole scenario doesn't even happen. Like, I'm running towards the window, I'm trying to get away from this Myra, she just popped his tier 3, I vault the window, I walk 2 steps, and I get hit through the window anyway. Even though I have made the vault, I have made the fast vault, I have landed, I have taken a couple steps, I get downed. And it's just like, moments like that aren't just occasional. Like, every single time there's any sort of lag in the game, that is what happens. That is what happens. That's what happens. Like, you get absolutely like just screwed over by the game and the lag because what happens is the game's reading everything from the killer side. Like the killer side in terms of like reading what's actually happening in the match and matching it up with the lag always takes the killer's perspective first over yours. So even though I made the window, I fast vaulted the window and I made it a few steps ahead. I literally made the fast vault, landed, made a few steps ahead. Because there was lag in the match, he got the down anyway. And I think like that happens so much, and since this game is so often laggy, that happens a lot of the time. And even though Survivor is fun, and I do like Survivor, when you get into so many of those situations where like you vault a window, walk 3 steps, get hit anyway, or you make it clearly around a corner and they hit you around the corner anyway, it's like, how many times can you do that before you just get frustrated? So like, that's why I really like gravitate more to the killer side of things, because like at least if things start to get laggy, it's still reading your side first, and the most you have to deal with is like strange movement or rubber banding. Like you're not getting hit when you don't deserve to be hit, you know, like it doesn't really benefit anybody. Like it's just miserable. It's absolutely miserable. Like in that situation with the Michael example, when like I wouldn't have got down, I made the right play, there was no reason I was being dumb or greedy, but just because there was lag involved, I'm down on the floor now, and now he gets a hook and gets all this pressure because there was a lag spike, and it's absolutely miserable. And it's why like I can never see myself being a Survivor main, no matter how much I enjoy Survivor, and while I always prefer Killer, because like the fact that lag so negatively affects you on the Survivor side of things is miserable. And until that's fixed, I can't see myself playing Survivor consistently, because I ain't dealing with that. I'm just not dealing with it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and that's the main reason why I don't main Survivor, and that's not like my main form of content and what I play. So if you like this video, make sure you like it down there with the thumbs up thing, so we can talk and have more conversations with people. Also, if you are not subbed, please make sure that you do this, the subaronis, because that's how you continue to see my daily uploads. Thank you so much. Would help if I could talk, I'd probably convince people to sub. But thank you so much for watching, friendo. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and if I don't see you in the next video, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.